The following program is an OCAmedia community-produced episode of Oregon Life, and we would like to thank our sponsor, the Oregon Brooklyn Optimist Club. We are proud to have you as a sponsor. Hello, I'm Frank Caruso, and welcome to a brand new episode of Oregon Life. I got to hang out with Carter at the Kickback Cafe, where he has put on an amazing city of Legos. Spent the morning with him, several hours, and he takes me through the journey of his inception, of falling in love with trains and the Legos, and creating this magnificent city that he has put together down there. And you've got to get down there. It's the end of August. It's going to be gone. Enjoy this episode, as I did being with Carter, of Oregon Life.
All right. Well, I think it started when I was very little. I went into Toys R Us and I saw a little display of just these Lego city sets and these this one train, the Santa Fe. At the time, I didn't know it was already retired, but it was really pretty, and then I liked it a lot. So that's kind of where it started. But even before then, I liked model trains, which were more realistic, but kind of harder to do with smaller fingers and stuff. So I think that's where Lego really picked up, and I loved Lego, partly because it was easier to do. And the first modular set is actually the Detective and Al's Barber Shop, which was one of the two I got first. And that's kind of what just started a yearly tradition of getting more and more, up until the point where we have an entire city now. So the engine is one of my favorite parts, as it's 301. It's actually the original, which came out with the series, so it's one of my favorite. The baggage car is one of the 5 different versions you could do with the passenger series. So this is the actual original, what it came with, and that's how you would actually build it, like this. Then you have the passenger car, which was one of the upper variants, which I can remove, so you can see the above head view. Then you can remove the other mail car. And then finally you get to the observation car, which is one of my favorites.
Why is that one of your favorites, Carter?
Just because it's the one I've always seen, and it's the most recognizable of all of them.
And is it typically at the end of the train?
It's always. They always put it at the end.
Do you know why they do that? It's just...
Because it has a position for the actual conductor to see out the back. So it's the easiest to see from. It's the passenger version of like the caboose.
Okay, great, wonderful.
I always loved watching trains when I was very little. Like, before I could actually talk, I would know if a train was coming or not. I could tell from miles away if it was coming because the rattling from the ground. I've seen a lot of cool trains over my lifetime, but I think the coolest one was the Union Pacific Big Boy 4014, which was restored in 2019 to its full capability of running on its own power, which was actually turned into the largest steam engine in the world. And I actually went to see it in Rochelle, Illinois. Words could not describe seeing that thing in real life. And in September, I'm actually going down to see it again because it's going to be going through Rochelle again. So that'll be fun. So one of the books I read was called Riding on the Blue Comet. It was about a time-traveling boy from the Great Depression era all the way up to the beginning of World War II, 1941. And this kid travels back and forth in time by getting onto a model railroad and a particular train called Riding on the Blue Comet. He meets very interesting characters, such as a Hollywood movie actor that we think was loosely based off Ronald Reagan, a little bit, which it was all very interesting to see. And honestly, that's what started my love of books, was that one book that had such a big effect on me that it's kind of overlooked, but now I'm one of the best readers in my class from that book. So we're in the center of town looking at the LEGO idea set known as the Orient Express. I'm going to be showing it off. So this is the sleeper car, it has all the original characters from the book and the movie of it, with an interior that looks extremely well done, even down to the finest detail. You could spend hours looking at it with just noticing one by one. Then there's the next car, which I'm just going to push up a little bit. Which is the diner/bar car, which also has an insane amount of detail with the characters, a bar, along with several detailed little tables that look beautiful.
Carter, when you imagine people eating in the car, what would you imagine they'd be eating?
LEGO doesn't make very many foods, which is kind of a problem. Just the normal European dishes or the American dishes, which were chicken, gravy, mashed potatoes. Historically,
You're getting me hungry.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Main downtown area is called Assembly Square. This is one of the more unique pieces with its design and interesting interiors. There's a cafe, a bakery, and a rose shop or flower shop, which is very unique. There's a jazz club, which is also one of the newer builds. And then there's a very unique movie theater build, Palace. You might recognize it from theaters on Hollywood looking like that. Moving away from that area, we have the detective shop, which is actually one of the oldest buildings I have and was the first one I got. There is the town hall, which is one of my favorite for being just a stereotypical town hall that looks like they would all look like. The police station, which is a pretty cool police station as it has very nice looking details. The museum, which was supposed to be a collab with the Night at the Museum, but that never went through. So instead, you can really tell it looks like it though. Pet shop, apartment, a classic diner with a boxing studio upstairs and record shop, and the boutique hotel, which is kind of looks like something from Disneyland or World with the Californian design. And then next to it, you have the Grand Central Station, which is the largest build I've ever done. And it took me the most time out of any of the LEGO sets.
How many hours?
So for the roof, so the top part, it took about 8. For the rest, it took about 2 hours, but 8 for the roof and the top part. All right, so can you guess what this is?
I'm gonna try to guess.
I'm gonna try and he's
Maybe
gonna
you'll try to guess.
Maybe you'll try to guess.
I'm hoping it's the Home Alone house
Right on.
because it looks like it.
It does, and it has all these insane little details that you wouldn't really notice on first. The first floor has a little trick that you can pull with the Michael Jordan, as seen in the movie, with the rocking around the Christmas tree song. We all know from that scene.
Love that scene.
We have the collapsible shelf with the gun that Kevin has. He's in there.
Is that in the lower shelf, first floor, or
Second.
That's the second floor, isn't
It's
it?
the second floor, Buff's room.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite features. There's paint cans as well. If you look up top, if you go over, you can see the paint cans. Up to the parents' bedroom, which has all the original details with the popcorn and everything in it. What's even more interesting is he actually has the turtle dove from the second movie on the first floor.
And that's in the lower left there?
Yeah.
Okay. Get that there. Okay. So the house closes up,
Like this.
and this, and we're gonna get the top on. Gotta have
Which
a roof.
also has an interior of Kevin's bedroom. So yeah, it has all the interior of the movie. The back porch does have what you would think it'd have, with the little dog door and Kevin's gun sticking out, the BB gun he shoots Harry with, which was one of my favorite scenes. So the whole creation adds up to being my dream city, that I wish Oregon would have all these old downtown buildings, and I envision this is what some small town would have looked like, with the train going street running, as we call it, where the tracks are in the middle of the road, which is normal back then, as towns were developed around the railroad. Anything that's older than like 100 years was developed around the railroad and was heavily reliant on the railroad till the cars became more reliable. Thanks for watching this episode of Oregon Life.